If you've got a question on your mind, then Brian's gonna find the answer with you. He'll answer it for you. And you. Just ask anything that's in your head. Tell him everything he'd like to know. If it's good, then you better ask Brian the bunny rabbit.
Hey, howdy, hey, welcome to You'd Better Ask Brian, where I, Brian the bunny rabbit, will be answering your new questions. Corey Hopkins asks, what's my favorite episode of Tikkabilla? Well, there's Dressing Up and Heroes, Crisps and Noises, Messy and CNTV, Seasons and Ducks, Tamba's Car, and a few others. Uh-oh, it looks like someone's gone over the limit of 5 questions, and his name is Wilder Wonka. Never mind, I'll answer your questions anyway. Q1, do you remember the old 2001 to 2006 Hit Entertainment logo? Yes, I do. That was on a lot of programs, and it looks like this. Q2, have you ever seen Longman Video's Nursery Rhymes VHS? Yes, I have, and I also hear that it used to give you a nightmare, so I feel sorry about what happened to you back then. Speaking of which, apparently Longman's Nursery Rhymes is also available on DVD and CD, which is pretty interesting to see. Q3, recently, I've noticed that Ian Lachlan from Fun Song Factory almost looks like Gene Wilder. Do you notice the slight look-alike between the two? Well, let's see if my look-alike machine can deal with that. Wow, what great trivia facts you've got. Apparently Ian Lachlan does look a little bit like Gene Wilder, and nobody else noticed except you and me. Q4, do you think you could add in Wimpole Village and Rubber Dubbers on TV Burp? I don't know about Rubber Dubbers, but I might give Wimpole Village a try. Q5, did you know that the people who did Bump the Elephant also did the trapdoor? Yes, I did. It was CMTB Animation who did it all, and they also did Stop It and Tidy Up by using the same cutout animation method as Bump. Fun fact, CMTB Animation also worked with the late Tony Hart on the CBBC program, The Art Box Bunch, which was around during the 90s and was later repeated on CBBC on Choice. And Q6, do you remember The Big Nights? Yes, I do. It was made way back before Peppa Pig and Ben and Holly existed from the same company, Astley Davis Baker. Next we get 2 questions from Matthew Samino. Q1, do you watch The Mighty Bee? No, I don't. And Q2, what's your favorite episode of McDonald's Farm? I have a few favorites. Quack Quack's Secret, Woof Woof Makes a Friend, Pirates, and Princesses, Big Birthday Surprise, Quack Quack's Big Search, and a few others. Sophie Hansel from the USA has just sent in a message saying, "This is my bunny, Daisy. She has a big family. I suppose you could be her cousin from the UK? Alright, I'll be Daisy's cousin from the UK, and also, thanks for sharing your photo of Daisy herself. With that, I'll hang it up on my wall just after I'm finished with this." Next we have 2 more questions from Ben Freeman. Q1, have you liked my II songs over the past 5 or 6 months? I think they're alright. Once again, Ben had to use Nintendo DS sound and feature another character from Wilder Nuts, and it's a turtle named Ludo saying I Captain many times. And Q2, who's your favorite character from Thomas and Friends? There's too many to think of, but I know my all-time favorites are Thomas, Edward, Henry, Gordon, James, and Percy. Daniel Russell asks, did you know that Pingu has a Game Boy game that was only released in Japan, called Pingu the Most Cheerful Penguin in the World? I didn't know that at first, until I saw a short gameplay of it on YouTube, so you're right about that. At least I know that Pingu also had a Nintendo DS game and a PlayStation game released in Japan. Good old Simpsons Clips 24 asks, are you going to write a letter to Ant Dec and Cat Deely so it can be featured on the new SMTV Live Postbag segment? If so, what are you going to put in it? Well, I don't know about writing a letter, but I think I might be able to be on a special anniversary video for the program that Mayday 51 will be making. NTV Studios has 3 questions for me to answer now. Q1. What do you like better, KFC or McDonald's? McDonald's for me. Q2. What TV programs have you got recorded, and what's your favorite? Well, I've got a few programs recorded like Downton Abbey, EastEnders, The Royal Family, Wallace, and Gromit, Supermarket Sweep, and a few others. I also used to have a VHS with CBeebies content from Christmas 2003, which has programs like Teletubbies, Bits, and Bob's, Come Outside, Tweenies, The Shiny Show, and Fimbles. I even used to have a couple of episodes of Maisie Mouse recorded as well. And Q3, what do you hate about modern CITV? To be honest, I don't hate anything about modern CITV. I just don't really care about some of the programs they have now. But at least it's good that they still have Horrid Henry, Sooty, Wolves, Witches, and Giants, and Grizzly Tales on the nowadays. Neslover94 asks, do you like the story of Tracy Beaker? I can remember seeing a few episodes on CBBC before, so I think it's alright. Next we get 5 questions from Jack Howell. Q1. Do you like Step Inside? If so, what's your favorite episode? Yes, I do. Farmer Duck must be one of my favorite episodes, so is Not Now Bernard, and a few others. Q2. Did you know that Bear in the Big Blue House is celebrating its 20th anniversary later this year? Actually Jack, the program already has celebrated its 20th anniversary last year, so I think you were wrong there. Q3. What do you think of my channel, TV Burp Network? If so, what are your favorite scenes? I think it's alright, and my favorite scenes are the ones with me in them. Q4. Do you like my version of Nick Jr. Classics? In my opinion, it's like Classic Kids channel all over again, because you were also showing superstar comedy programs on the like Post 16 Adventures and Humble Toys Family. But nevertheless, you did an okay job. And Q5, when did you start TV Burp? Back in May 2016. Although, Mayday 51 did do some TV Burp related videos back in late 2015 as well. Next we get 5 more questions from Zach Hart. Q1. Have you ever heard of Bill and Ben before? Of course I have, you should know that by now. Q2. Did Kygo release the album, Cloud9? Yes he did, and I haven't heard of it myself. Q3. What's your favorite advert of all time? I don't really know, because there are so many different adverts I've enjoyed from the old times and the new times, and I mean it. Q4. Did Walt Disney create Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? Of course he did. It was his first ever feature film from the 1930s. And Q5. Did Mark Brown write all the Arthur books? Of course he did. Aaron Mann just went over the limit of 5 questions as well, but because he's a very nice lad, let's answer his questions anyway. Q1. What's your favorite series of Bullseye? I like both the classic Central and Modern Challenge series. Q2. Do you remember playing games from Living Books? No I don't. Q3. Who's your favorite character from the amazing world of Gumball? Well, there's Gumball himself, Darwin, Nickel Waterson, and a few others. Q4. Do you remember Ed, Edd and Eddy, Johnny Bravo, Classic Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Laboratory, Codename Kids Next Door, and Cow and Chicken? Yes, I do. Q5. What's your favorite food from McDonald's? I've always loved fries, hamburgers, and chicken nuggets myself. And finally, Q6. Do you remember Super Mario World, The Adventures of Super Mario Bros. 3, And Captain N the Game Master? Yes, I do, and fun fact, Channel 4 used to broadcast some of the Mario and Sonic cartoons back in the 90s. I bet you haven't heard about that before. That's all we've got time for in this episode of You'd Better Ask Brian, so I'll be hopping off, and I'll hopefully see you guys again next week for more questions. Cheerio.
Brian the Bunny Rabbit.